Okay, guys, I told you I would go through examples 1 and 2 of our notes. Now, today in class, we talked all about oblique asymptotes, but I don't want to get rid of all the knowledge that we had before. We reviewed what made a function bottom heavy, what made a function matching powers, and what made a function top heavy when it comes to asymptotes. If it's bottom heavy, the x on the bottom has more power than the x in the numerator. So even if it's in factored form, when you multiply this out, it would be x squared. And on top, it's just x with 1 power. So on top here, you would have an x. And on the bottom, you would have an x squared once I multiplied this out. Now, I would have other stuff here, and clearly I have the plus 1 there. But if I would take their top contenders, the degree of the top, the highest power of x is 1, and the highest power of x is 2. Matching powers, we went through that too, if they match, etc. And then we really focused in class on top heavy. Now, I do have these 2 other questions that we had on the notes, and I want to go over these with you. Okay, so for number 1, the first question I'll always ask you guys is there a hole? So this is a nice in exponential form. It's already out in standard form. That means no parentheses. This form has the parentheses, which gives me in factored form. And factors are great because that is the easiest way to see a hole. Vertical asymptotes are nice to see in factors too. Horizontal are nice in factors, but obliques are better in this form here, multiplied out. So each form kind of is better for something else, so I'll give you both of them. So, does this have a hole? And you should be screaming at the screen, yes, Ms. Freibush, there is an x minus 2 and there is an x minus 2, top and bottom. So, yes, there is a hole. And not only that, the hole is going to be at x equals positive 2. Why positive 2? Well, because you take these equal to 0, or you can just look. 2 minus 2, 2 minus 2 would give me 0. And zeros, if you haven't noticed, are really important in math. Okay, so the matching factors told me yes. The matching factors being x minus 2 gave me the 2. So now that I know I have a hole and I know it's a 2, they can cancel out now. And we're going to be left with 1 on top because when 2 things cancel out, they leave 1 behind. And x plus 1 on bottom. So this guy here is new function. And he is what's going to, or she, or whatever, this loveliness here is going to answer the rest of these awesome questions. The first question he's going to answer is, what's the rest of the hole? I know it's at 2 somewhere. Somewhere on 2 there's a hole. I don't know. I'm just going to put it there. So I need to find his partner. So I'm going to take this 1 over x plus 1, and I'm going to insert the 2 in there. So it's going to be 1 over 2 plus 1. That'll give me 1 over 2 plus 1 is 3. I don't know why I put a parenthesis there. Sorry about that. That's going to irk me. Okay, so the matching factors told me yes. Them being both x minus 2 told me positive 2. I take the leftovers after I cancel out, plug the x in to find his partner. So now I know at 2 1/3. Now 1/3 is somewhere here. It's a little bit less than a half. So I'm just going to put this big old open circle right there. I'm not measuring with my ruler like, is that 1/3? That looks like it covers a lot. But I mean, I just want you to show me it's an open circle, an open point there. So now I go to the rest of the stuff. Vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote continues the process. You always start on the bottom after the hole. So we want to see when the denom is equal to 0. So the value that would make this 0, Ms. Freibush, we're always using, like I told you, 0 is like wicked important in math. X plus 1, we set it equal to 0. Basically, it's going to change this guy to being a negative 1. And vertical asymptote is vaxing. So it's x equals negative 1. So at x, negative 1, I'm going to have a vertical asymptote. I'm sorry that this focus keeps shifting in and out. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I bet I'm too close. And my hand is moving. At this point in class, I'd say, do you have any questions? And you could talk back to me, but now I just have to keep it going on. But please do bring those questions to me anytime we have a Zoom or an open office hours, excuse me. Now I'm going to do my horizontal asymptote. Horizontal, now you're going to ask, is it top heavy? Because if it's top heavy, there's no horizontal. Is it bottom heavy, which is my favorite, or is it matching? So you come here and you see there's an x with the power of 1. So I have an x with the power of 1, and I have no x's on top. So no x's, no power of x on top. So it's bottom heavy, which means y equals 0. Anytime it's more powerful on bottom, it's y equals 0. If it's top, I would do slant asymptote long division. And if it was matching, I would divide. But I don't have matching. I don't have something to divide. I literally don't have anything to divide. So matching and top go away. Now I move on to x-intercepts. X-intercepts are when you take your numerator equal to 0. Ms. Freibush, there's no x there. You're right. So I would end up with 1 equals 0, which is not a true statement, which means none. Anytime this is 0, this will be none. Anytime this is 0, this will be none for us. So now I do y-intercept. And y-intercept, I'm going to take this and I do cover-up method. This is when you plug in 0 for x. So instead of 1 over x plus 1, I plug 0 in here, which means he goes away. 1 over 1 means 1. So at 1, I have a lovely point. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot my horizontal asymptote at y equals 1, or 0. So at y, height 0, I'm going to draw my horizontal asymptote. Don't cross it. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. And now you can graph your picture. Get really close to them. Don't go through your hole because I don't want to cover it up. And go along the asymptote. And then I draw the diagonal piece. Ms. Freibush, how do you know it's diagonal? I know it's diagonal because this x has a power of 1, which is an odd number. And remember, odd will be opposite. Even, Steven will be next to each other, but odd will be opposite. Okay, let's do another because I have a little bit of time. Let's start here. Do you have a hole? I hope you're screaming at the screen, 1 on top, 3 and 5 on bottom. Anosa, nothing matches, Ms. Freibush. And I'm just going to write this, no matching factors. Woo. You don't need to write that, I'm just saying no. All right, so now we go to our vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote is when denom equals 0. Whoa, there's 2. Can there be 2? Yes. Vertical, you can have more than 1. You can't have more than 1 y's, but you can have more than 1 x's. So these 2 guys you can have more than 1 of, but these 2 guys you can only have 1 of, okay? Okay, so if I take my vertical asymptote equal to 0, this has x minus 3, so it'll be x equals positive 3. This says x plus 5, so it'll be x equals negative 5. So I go to x, I go to 3. Perhaps you're going faster now, I know. I hate my videos are too long. And then I go to negative 5. Plus you can pause me if I'm going too fast. And I got those 2 from setting these 2 factors, each of them equal to 0. Denominator equals 0. This should look kind of familiar when you did finding the zeros of a quadratic and you had factors. If you set it equal to 0, you would set each of the factors equal to 0. Everything's related in math, which is why it can be so amazing and so tedious. All right, horizontal. This is when you say top heavy, bottom heavy, or matching. If I look here, I have an x on top with a power of 1 is the highest I will go. If I look here, x times x, if I would factor this out, would be, I'm sorry, if I multiply it out, would be 2 powers of x. So again, this is bottom heavy, which means y equals 0, which means, oh, it doesn't mean none here. Ay, 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 ay. Ah, it's only none if there's no x in the top, in the numerator. But we have an x here in the numerator, so we got to take our numerator equal to 0. So I take x plus 1 equal to 0, which will give me negative 1. Oops, I forgot to do horizontal asymptote again. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, y equals 0. Y at height 0, boom. X-intercept is at negative 1. Oh, that's why. Because there are 2 of these, we can cross the horizontal asymptote. Finally, y-intercept. I'm going to take x plus 1. I'm going to take x minus 3. I'm going to take x plus 5. And I'm going to say see ya because I'm going to put 0 in them. So now I got a 1 on top. I got a negative 3 in this parenthesis and positive 5 in that parenthesis. And parentheses mean multiply. So negative 3 times 5 will give me 1 over negative 15. So that would be like right there. Ooh, I like this guy. So if I connect those, and I go really close to this guy, and I go really close to this guy, I get this cool, like, cubic shape. It's very neat. So now I need to go diagonal this way and diagonal this way to get the other pieces. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's it for this edition of these 2 extra problems that you're going to be able to do. In class, we are doing obliques, which is when you have more power on top than on bottom. I'll make another video for these later on, but we've just done a couple examples to kind of get you guys started. If you want to try those on your own on a blank page, you can go to our announcements and you can get the notes from Monday, Tuesday and try those, and you have the answers. I'll see you in class.